Josh and Mallory Bunz here, co-founders of Apogee Yellowstone. We thought we would make a little video, a little Q&A of some frequently asked questions. We're going to try to get this done while the kids are napping. So
See if we can roll through these 10 questions.
Yeah, we'll try it quick. So we each wrote out 5 questions that we thought might be good to ask each other. And we are going to ask and answer those on camera. There's Georgia.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and you can see the little puppy back there too.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start off the first one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So do you think our current school system allows for children to actually explore their interests and curiosities?
I think in most cases, probably not. Let's take our son Wyatt, for example. He loves nature. He loves snakes. He loves bugs. He loves all kinds of stuff that he probably, I feel like the puppy just knocked over her bowl of water. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, he has a lot of interests that he probably wouldn't encounter in a traditional classroom setting. And so for him, a lot of his inspiration and curiosity comes from being outside. And I think most schools these days do not allow for a lot of outdoor time. Mm-hmm. And that goes for other interests that kids might have as well. They might be interested in technology or art or music or all kinds of things that, a traditional school system may not have the time to explore fully. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. I think the next question is yours too.
All right. So what type of learning occurs with the Apogee model? And probably just piggybacks right off of this question.
What type of learning?
Mm-hmm.
I think the unique thing is that it really depends on what type of learning each student needs. So if they're a tactile learner, they can touch things, they can move around, they can do what they need to do to let their learning set in. And it is, as the kids get older, they're going to have a lot of self-driven learning. Mm-hmm. So our teachers kind of guide them, more of a guide or a coach than a teacher per se, because you're not going to have somebody standing at the front of the room teaching the same thing to all of the kids at the same time. For the most part, they're going to be having discussions with one another. Maybe the coach will have some prompts for them. They're going to discover what their passions are and spend time on their passion projects. So as they decide and discover what their passions are, they kind of explore those with some coaching and some guidance in that direction. So it really depends. I think you'll go in, or one of us will go into what a typical day looks like, and we'll explore that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And since yours go all hand in hand with each other,
I know. Jeez. All right. So why do you think this way of learning is more beneficial from the way that we currently have our kids go through?
I think it gives the opportunity for more individualized learning, which, you and I going through the public school system, we just kind of had to do what was expected of us as far as like everybody in your grade learned the same things at the same times, and you were all responsible to learn that same set of things at the same time. So, I think it's beneficial. The way the world is now, we probably need more entrepreneurs. We need more thinkers. Are you breathing directly into the mic?
Georgia, stop.
We need people that can think for themselves and that understand what their passions are and how to follow those. So I think it's beneficial in that sense that the world isn't really set up for factory workers anymore. We do need some people that work in factories, but we need more people who are thinking ahead of the curve, growth mindset.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, there's so many reasons why we need thinkers on that caliber, but I'm sure I'll imagine some ways that we need those. Okay, my turn. What ages will Apogee Yellowstone's program start with?
We'll start off with elementary school ages, so 5 to 12, and then as time goes on and we progress, we'll be looking at future, high school students and things along those lines.
Yep. So we'll start. Yep. Elementary, age up with those kids. Middle school, same thing.
Yep.
Age up with those kids. Okay. Me again. What does a typical day look like at Apogee Yellowstone?
I think that's where this program comes in. That's really cool. You're shaking the camera.
Sorry, I have my legs crossed. Okay.
So they have buckets. So what does a bucket mean? Obviously, they can focus on their reading, writing, arithmetic. And the cool thing is they just get a little bit of guidance as they're going through this. It's not so structured, and that just really gets the kids really involved and really wanting to actually do something of whatever they're focusing on instead of being told what to do.
Yeah, I like that. Perfect. Okay. You.
All right. So,
Georgia, stop
Georgia,
moving.
you're moving the camera, girlfriend.
Come over here.
All right. So, how does Apogee foster a growth mindset?
So Apogee is all about a growth mindset. We have lots of different programs that we get to be a part of through the overarching Apogee program. So Josh and I have both now gone through the full year of Apogee Woman and Apogee Man, and so the parents will get to do that. But so the growth mindset, we have like challenges that we've gone through to make us like, to I guess to help us on our path of becoming the best humans we can be. And that's something that we really encourage other families to go through that. So because we've started on that journey for ourselves, I think it's really prepared us to help kids and the families go through that process themselves. There's going to be fitness goals that we help the kids set. There's going to be academic goals that we help them set. It's all individualized and based on what they like and what they want to do, but we also have like standards. So this is something that we can work on with each family and with the parents of each kid, going like, okay, what's the best you think we can do, and what's the minimum standard for each day or week? Because there's going to be days where you're feeling your best, you're motivated, you're pumped, you're going to do it, but there's going to be days where you don't feel like giving it your all, and we have minimum standards still for those kind of days. So not that everybody needs to be at the same standard as each other, but you have standards that you set for yourself. And I think that translates over well into the rest of life, because this year, as we've been going through the program, it's been like, oh, there's sometimes where you're gung-ho, and this month I love all the challenges and they're so perfect for where we're at in life and we really want to do this stuff. And then there's somewhere it's like, oh man, this one's really hard. It's going to take a little bit more time and we have to dedicate to that. And that's okay, because that's where I am on my journey, and where you were in yours. And so it's just some guidance to really help us become the best humans we can be. So I love that about it.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, well, this ties into that perfectly. Yeah. So what's in it for the parents?
Well, Mallory already answered that question. As she mentioned,
I talk a lot.
You'll be enrolled with Apogee Man and Women. As Mallory said, we both have gone through this program, and going through the program it's very, very detailed, and there's a lot of good challenges that really
Georgia
question.
Stop. Hey. Sorry. Georgia, come here. Come here.
So yeah, the program really just challenges you and questions your current beliefs and how you can be a better human. And that's what's really in for the parents. And I think being part of a community that has the same mindset for your kids and your family and your community is also a huge win, because I think currently in society we're lacking community. And this just brings like-minded people together to really give their kids a leg up in their future.
Yes, love that.
How will performance and growth be evaluated?
That's a good question. So we don't do like letter grades or standardized testing. There's still testing, but not like the standardized testing that we had to do in school, where they teach the test all year and we had this high stress situation. Performance is evaluated in a number of ways, and it kind of depends on what area we're talking about. But we're going to have different books that we read throughout the year, and again, depending on the kids' age and all that, they're going to have different programs that they can opt into. So for math, maybe they're doing a certain program, and they might have a certain percentage of that program that they do. So checking off that, how far they proceed into their goals. And then sorry, our dog's drinking water super loud.
Super loud.
The dogs are worse than the kids sometimes.
100%.
Anyway, there's also going to be group projects. So we have a lot of project-based learning. So they're going to have exhibitions where they can show the parents. At some point, we will probably open those up to the public also, so they can show off the projects that they've been working on, and they do a lot of those together. And there might be a little diagram that they do, or depending on their age, again, for little ones, some coloring projects, making different things that they can show off and they can be really proud of because of the time and the effort that they put into it. And a lot of it's going to be creativity and innovation and things that they get to say like, yes, I am really proud of this. So instead of like a B C letter grade, you get like, it's kind of pass or fail for a lot of those things, right? Like, did you put your best into it or did you not do it?
Sure.
And so it's not the motivation of getting the A and just doing good enough to get that. It's like, did you really put your best into everything that you're doing? Was that the best level of a book that you could read, or was it something that you're interested in? Those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what does a typical school year look like at Apogee Yellowstone?
So it goes every 6 weeks?
Yeah, we'll have like 6
or 6 week
5 to 7 week sessions depending.
Yeah, and then like a week or two off.
In between those, and then longer for certain holidays.
Yep, longer for certain holidays. And
longer off for summer.
That'll be important.
So those sessions, we kind of have like a theme, right? And yeah, it totally depends on what the theme is, but the projects are based around those themes.
Yep.
So not really year round, not really traditional. It's just kind of our own thing. Also, we would like to work with our founding families to kind of decide what works best with everyone's schedule. So that will be another benefit to signing up early. Okay. Ooh, that's you.
All right. What do you think about how kids mentally are handling today? Wow. I can't read right now. Yeah, this sentence does not make any sense. So what do you think about how kids mentally are handling today's society pressures?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. I think that kids are ill prepared for the pressure of today's society. A lot of that, honestly, I think a lot of those pressures are put on them in school. We briefly talked earlier about how hey guys, come on, how the standardized testing puts a lot of pressure on everybody, on undue pressure on teachers that have to teach these tests, because there's standardized testing, but it's not standardized to each individual student. It's standardized to everybody in that grade, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. You could be at a totally different position than somebody your same age just because you're born within the same year. And so that kind of starts this, I don't know if everybody has the anxiety response, but I think that puts a lot of undue anxiety on teachers and on the students. Those kinds of things just put a lot of pressure on them. Come here, Jeffy. Come here. And come here. And so, that's the beginning of it. And so it's just kind of like, again, cramming for a test, which is not like a real life situation. I don't think that prepares you well for what real life is. At least not my vision of like my optimal life. It's more about mastering a skill, I think is very important, or mastering many skills and hobbies and following your passions and interests. And I don't think that the traditional school system really sets people up for success in that way. I think we had to overcome a lot of our public school learning to get to the point where we could know what our passions and hobbies and interests and land careers where we can follow those. That was a lot of like deprogramming, I think, that we had to do. So, part of our vision was to help kids not have to have that programming in the first place and just realize that the world is their oyster. There's no limits except for what you put on yourself, right? So, circling way back around to the original question, how kids are handling today's pressures. I don't think well. I think there's a lot of false pressures put on kids by certain types of school, not getting enough time outside. I think that's really detrimental to a lot of people's mental health. Being stuck inside a lot of the time, not being able to do what you want to do, and being stuck on somebody's time clock, all day, artificially imposed on them. Not being able to get up and move. Movement's really important. Nutrition's really important. All of those things go hand in hand, right? So I think there's just so much pressure on kids. They don't have a lot of time to play outside. And so there's just all of these things. They come out of school so stressed already and just really ill prepared for whatever career they plan to follow. And they're just kind of programmed to a lot of times be inside and not take care of their mental health or physical health. And so I think we really want to flip that around and make sure that we are not preparing kids for more school, not to play this game of school, but to help prepare them to play the game of life and to do it really well and to end up being successful in the sense of, manufacturing the kind of life that they want to live and, just getting out there and doing it, making it happen. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why we're doing this whole thing in the first place, because we wanted that for our kids. And we thought, why not open it up to other families who, have the same vision for their kids and their families also.
Yep, no, absolutely. Totally agree with all that.
Anything to add to that?
No, I think just absolutely that, with how schools currently are set up, not one fits all. Yeah. And I think to myself, and this is the prime reason, is, yes, standardized testing, you may not be very good at it, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a failure. But kids can start getting those thoughts in their head. Mm-hmm. But what's good about the Apogee program is they really get to explore their interests, which mentally, then long run, will be good for them. Mm-hmm. And then, as your point, being outside, I think is probably the most beneficial thing we can do for our kids, because I think we're losing touch with that more and more.
I agree. Yeah. Just in our own, your personal story, maybe you can talk to that a little bit, how you've enjoyed like hunting and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've always been an outdoors person, but more recently I've gotten more into hunting over the past 4 or 5 years, and just being out in nature more, and you just get a sense of calmness and stillness within you when you start really taking a moment and just silencing all the chatter, whether it's in your head or from the world, like all those external factors, and kind of just resets you. And I think that's, the magic pill. We don't need to be taking actual pills, but we just need to get out into the woods and enjoy what we're doing, and reflect. And it really does help a lot.
I've seen a big change in you too since we've been prioritizing time outside. For you and for the kids, I see a big difference in all of that too. So, we can see in our own lives how that's made such a big difference, and how that will benefit people in general, for the kids, for the adults, everybody. So lots of things that we can incorporate for the students, for the whole family, things that we're working on in our household and that we can share with other people who are interested, and maybe bounce some other ideas off of people, like-minded people. So anyway, that's the gist of it. That's kind of what we had prepared. More videos to come. Feel free to comment any additional questions. We'll try to get back to those as soon as possible. Also, check us out and please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are Apogee Yellowstone, and we're going to be posting some more videos on our YouTube channel, and just getting information out there. We'll also be doing some information sessions periodically throughout the year. I'm going to try to do those about once a month so that we can just, meet face to face, have a very casual version of this. Bring your questions, bring your ideas, and we also can do one-on-one appointments on the phone, FaceTime, or in person.
Georgia, don't get a GSP.
Come here, you. You want to show everybody your beautiful face? Oh, she's a pretty girl. All right. Anyway, we'll be in touch.
And that means we're out.
That's it.
Bye.